Hi, this is Seema. When you get up on a Monday morning, are you one of those people who are excited to go to work? Or are you one of those people who would rather go anywhere but to work? Well, if you're one of those people who hate going to work, you've tuned into the right channel. Because today I'm going to teach you about the different ways that you are going to talk about how unhappy you are at your job. You know, sometimes we work because we need the money, we need to put food on the table, we need to pay the bills. But there are various aspects of your job you don't quite like, right? How do you talk about them? That's what I'm going to teach you today. Okay, the first expression in order to express your unhappiness in your job is kissing up to. Well, kissing is not a very bad thing, right? So why would you be unhappy about kissing? Well, that's not the kind of kiss I'm talking about. So kissing up to is basically doing, or shall I say saying, things to someone in a higher position or someone in a place of authority. And do you know why that is done? Only to get favors. Well, this is supposed to be a very negative thing because you're actually kissing up to someone, you're doing something nice, saying the right things to someone in a place of authority just because you want to get some favors out of them. Not a very good thing. So you could say something like, I won't get a promotion unless I kiss up to my supervisor. I will never be able to get a higher paycheck unless we kiss up to the management. Not a very good thing, but a lot of people in their job are very unhappy because they feel that they've got to kiss up to someone just to move up the rank or to get a promotion. Not a very nice thing. Okay, so this is how you're going to use it in a sentence. For some of you who would not want to use this kind of an expression, there's a different way of saying it. You could also call this as buttering up someone. Or you could say, I can only get a promotion if I butter up my supervisor, okay? Or if I kiss up to my supervisor, depending on what you want to use. Okay then, the second expression is breathing down my neck. Okay, now if you were to, stand very close to me, and if you were to breathe, I would be able to hear you, and I would be very, very annoyed. Okay, so breathing down my neck, okay, is basically when someone, mostly the supervisor, okay, we're talking about a supervisor now because we're talking about the context of your job, so it's going to be the supervisor, is closely monitoring you. Or monitoring your every move. Okay, so you are making a PowerPoint presentation, okay? And, well, you're supposed to give it in an hour's time, right? Now, you just wish that your supervisor leaves you alone at your job so that you can prepare your presentation in peace. But guess what? Your supervisor would stand just behind your chair and keep looking at what you're doing. Now, he or she is practically breathing down your neck because they're so close that you can almost feel their breath, and that is very annoying. You can't really work very effectively when someone does that to you, can you? Well, that's again not a very good thing and a very nice way of expressing your unhappiness, about your job if that's what you're going through on an everyday basis at work. Okay. The next expression is leaves a lot to be desired. Okay. This expression is quite self-explanatory. Okay. When I say that this leaves a lot to be desired, it basically means that you are not satisfied. right? So this expression basically means that you are not satisfied. Okay? So maybe you're doing certain voluntary work. You are working with children who've got special needs. Now the job is fulfilling because you get to help people who are, who are special, who are special children, who need that kind of help. So you feel good about doing that. But maybe the pay is not that great. So you could say something like, I work with special children. The job is fulfilling, but the pay package leaves a lot to be desired, which means that the pay package is not satisfactory at all. Okay? All right then, the next expression is I am spread too thin. Okay, well, suppose you had a table, okay, and you've got to cover the table, okay, but your tablecloth is not big enough to cover this entire portion. It basically means that the tablecloth is spread too thin. It's not enough to cover everything. In the context of a job, it basically means that you've got too much of work to do with very, very less time to do it. And it basically means that you can't pay attention to anything that you're doing because there's too much of work and very less time, right? So your boss probably gives you a lot of work. He wants you to take phone calls. He wants you to make presentations. He wants you to arrange for client visits. Well, you can't do everything. And even if you could do everything, you could not manage to do everything by giving everything the right amount of attention, right? That's when you feel like you are spread too thin. You don't have the time to do everything that you are, supposed to do. So you will say something like, I've got so much of work. I'm spread too thin. I just can't manage, right? So when this is what happens to you at work, you're going to express your unhappiness by saying, I'm spread too thin. I can't control anything, okay? The next expression is micromanage. Now, micromanage is not really a negative term, but it can be a negative term when someone is trying to control every little detail of your project. Okay? Sometimes you are told to do a certain project or a certain work. Now, everybody has their own ways of doing it, right? So I do it in a certain way, you may do it in a different way. But my supervisor wants to do it in her way, but she wants me to do it her way. So she will come next to me and try to control every little detail of what I'm trying to do. So she's trying to micromanage my project. I'm not very happy with that, right? So that's when you can say something like, I hate my boss. She tries to micromanage everything. Well, I wish she would just leave me alone. So when someone tries to take over what you're doing and control every little detail of that project that you are doing, that's when they're overly managing or micromanaging, okay? All right, the next expression is called office politics. This is a very negative term, okay, because office politics refers to people who influence others in an organization because of their power or their status in an organization. So you have, certain people in the management who want to, look good to everybody else. So they will engage in office politics. They will try to influence their subordinates or people who work for them to do their work so that they look good to everybody else. Okay, this is a very negative term because they are using their power to come up the corporate ladder, but they're not giving the credit to the people who are actually helping them do it. Okay, office politics is actually a very wide topic. Okay, but this is one of the examples of office politics. Okay, the next expression is picking up the slack. Okay, when do you pick up the slack? Well, picking up the slack is basically an expression that you use when you are saying that you are doing extra work. Now, why would you do extra work? One of the reasons is because the people who were meant to do their work did not really do it. So you are doing extra work because the work hasn't been done by someone else. Say, for example, if you are in a packaging company, you've got a package or, package like, say, 100 handsets in a box, okay? But out of the 10 employees, maybe 2 employees did not turn up for work today. Well, guess what? You are picking up the slack. So you are now doing extra work because the people who were meant to do the work did not show up, did not do their work, and therefore you are picking up the slack. So you can say something like, I always have to pick up the slack because my coworker is very lazy. He does not contribute effectively to the work that we do. Okay. The last expression that we are going to talk about today is pull their weight. Well, pulling their weight is the opposite of picking up the slack. Okay, so pulling one's weight is doing your share of the work. Okay, so when would that be something that would cause you unhappiness? It would cause you unhappiness when someone does not pull their weight, right? So you could say something like, I don't like people who don't pull their weight because I've got to otherwise pick up the slack. So if someone does not do their share of the work or does not pull their weight, then you've got to pick up the slack or do extra work because they haven't done theirs, right? All right, well, that's it from me on this lesson on how to talk about, when you're not happy in your job, what do you say and how you say it. Okay, well, I hope you find happiness wherever you're working, but if you want to complain about your job, express your unhappiness, now you know what to say, right? Well, I'll be back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying